In 1991, Rand and Robin Miller, of Cyan, would begin work on a new game. Utilizing the then-new, CD media format, the game would be structured similarly to their previous children's games such as The Manhole, with the player navigating the world by clicking through a series of still images, occasionally triggering animations and changes to the world. However, the new game would be far more complex and adult. With the advent of the CD, Robin could make full use of his musical talent. The environment, though completely made up of still images, were rich, crisp and deep, and of course the characters could be represented through short low-res FMVs. Cyan would release Myst on Mac in 1993, and on real computers in 1994 to critical acclaim and tremendous financial success. At over 6 million copies, it would be the best-selling computer game until finally toppled in 2002. Like most adventure games of the time, Myst has no interest in holding the player's hand. After a very brief introduction, no less cryptic than the rest of the game, the player finds themselves standing on a dock. No tutorials, no goals. Just the player and an island for them to explore. Through exploration, the player will learn that the island houses books that lead to other worlds, canonically called ages. The player will also meet Cyrus and Akanar, two brothers each trapped in their respective books, and each trying to convince you of the other's evil nature. The plot of the game centers heavily on the player deciding which brother to believe, if either. As the player explores the different ages, they get a better idea of who Cyrus and Akanar really are. Cyrus being immensely greedy, and Akanar being an insane sadist. Solitude is a major theme in Myst. The ages the player goes through are entirely uninhabited, and their only interaction with other characters is in talking to them through small distorted windows in books. Besides the visuals, the game also builds its world through books that are actually books. Journals are kept, not just leaving clues to puzzles, but also detailing interactions with the inhabitants of the ages the player visits. Sadly, the player does learn the fates of the ages' inhabitants through gameplay. Though the puzzles may present a challenge, gameplay is exceedingly simple. The player moves through and manipulates things by left-clicking. Only on rare occasion is anything picked up. I used the Masterpiece Edition from GOG.com to record for this review, which has this menu that the player can always reach by hitting escape. However, I remember the original disc version having traditional window drop-down menus. After the player completes the main goal of the game, it doesn't end. Instead, a character invites them to continue to explore the Myst Island and the other ages at their leisure. You can tell that the game creators took great pride in the world that they built. And to be honest, it was justified. This is a game that any home PC is capable of creating today, but at the time of its release, this was a whole new way of non-linear storytelling. People were blown away by the fantastic, surreal environments and luxurious architecture. I believe that the look of a lot of mid-90s software can be attributed to this one single game. When Myst was new, much of the criticism focused on it being too cryptic. I don't consider this valid. Due to the game's success, it likely caught the attention of many people that weren't used to adventure games, and as such didn't realize what they were usually like. Complaining that a 90s adventure game is too cryptic is like complaining that a sports game doesn't have a wide enough variety of weapons upgrades. Today it's mostly criticized for aging poorly, which is far more valid. But that's what makes it so interesting to study. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.